Hey, we're gonna build a funk groove in E minor on the keyboard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna introduce some concepts and build it up as we go. So we're gonna start with a root note on beat 1. We might add some notes just to lead into it. So once you get that going, you're getting really comfortable with where 1 is. Alright, now I'm going to add an E minor triad on 2 and 4. So E minor is E, G, B. And I'm just playing it on beat 2 and 4. 2, 3, 4. Just get really comfortable with that. Because that's the backbeat of a funk groove. That's where the snare hits in the beat. Okay, now we're just going to extend this chord a bit and make it an E minor 7. So E minor 7 looks like this in root position, but what we're going to do is take this note here, which is the 7th, and put it underneath the chord like this. And just kind of squish it together. Now, I actually don't need that E in the right hand because E is played in the left hand, so it's all implied. So I'm just going to use that because I like that sort of open sound. But if you want to thicken up the texture, by all means, add it in. Just listen to the sound and see what you like the sound of the best. But I'll keep it without the E. Okay, when you're comfortable with that, we're going to add some syncopation. So for the syncopation, what I'm doing is I'm hearing all those beats, I'm hearing the subdivisions with it. So you can divide all the beats by 4. So I count 1 E enter, 2 E enter, 3 E enter, 4 E enter, 1 enter. And you can do all sorts of variations. But for now, I'm just going to settle on this. So I'm still hitting that strong beat on 2 and 4. I'm just adding a syncopated hit. Okay, now, next I'm going to add some ghost notes. I'll show you what they are first. So what they actually are, they're basically just feeling that subdivision, that and I'm not necessarily playing them all the way through, but I'm just hitting quieter notes on other beats of the bar just to lay out that subdivision. Now it doesn't actually matter what notes you ghost on because they're not like they're not a strong note of the harmony or anything like that. So usually what I'm doing in the left hand, I'm just hitting the top octave. So I'm starting down low and I'm ghosting with my thumb there. And then on the right hand, whatever the bottom note of the chord is, I'm just ghosting there. So really in this case I'm just kind of ghosting with the thumbs. Every now and then I'm adding the 5th as well in the left. So have a bit of a play with it, see what comes naturally under your fingers. But the main thing is that you're feeling that subdivision. now we're going to change the right hand chords because we've been sitting on that for a while and that can get a little bit tiresome. So we're going to use the E Dorian scale, and we're going to take that shape, and E Dorian is just D major, by the way, but starting E to E. And then we're going to take this shape up the scale. I'm just going to play with these three shapes for this video. But you can actually keep going, you can try different shapes. But I find these are the most common ones. The rhythm. You can vary it however you like. Now, I'm also adding these little grace notes. And my approach to this is I'm actually hitting these three notes together and sliding it off. And I'm actually doing that slide in time with that subdivision. I'm not doing it every time because it might get a bit much, but now we've been hanging out in the E minor 7 for a long time. Let's make the chord progression a bit more interesting. We're going to go to the 4 chord. 1, 4, and 1. So in this key, 4 is A major, or A7 I'm treating it like. So that second shape of the parallel kind of fits in well because it's essentially a triad. You don't necessarily have to do it on the beat. Because it's already implied by the root. Just add a little turnaround chord here. We're going to go to the 5. For that, I'm going to use a B7, so 3rd, and the 7th of the B. And I'm going to add a sharp 9, which is kind of like the minor 3rd to the major 3rd. So, and that creates a really tense sound that wants to get us back to home, which is our 1 chord, our E minor. That 5 chord on the 4th beat, 4th bar, sorry. All right. Now what we're going to do is add a few little riffs. So I'm using the E blues scale for this. And the E blues scale is basically these two shapes. So same shape, but starting on E and starting on B. And in between, we've got our blues notes. And that creates that really tense sound. So now we'll add some riffs to our beat. Sorry, forgot where I was. And let's add a riff. Yeah, just adding a few little riffs in with the groove. See what you come up with. There's still a few little things we can do to kind of vary this groove. Where I've been doing these grace notes, you can actually slide the whole chord. That E minor 7's nice and easy, because it's all black to white. I just simply slide off it. The A is a little bit harder. So that little slide is a little funky thing you can do if you want. The other thing is I've been hanging in this second inversion shape. What I mean by that is I've got, essentially it's a G major triad, but I'm playing it in first inversion, second inversion. That's kind of the thing I'm kind of doing there. But what if you try first inversion shape? Kind of going down chromatically. It's a very common thing on guitar because it's the last three notes of the guitar there. So they'll often kind of hammer on those last three strings when they're punching out. We can do is play with shells. So what the shell is it's just a shell voicing, which means you've got just the root and the third and the seventh of a chord. And in this case, the thirds and sevenths, the seven just moves to the third of the A. So this is the third, that's the seventh of the E minor, and then the A, that's the third, and that's the seventh of the A. So essentially we can just play on these two notes and just drop that top note and doing little variations. So that's kind of a little cool thing you can do when you just want to strip back the texture. It's a nice thing when you're using a clav sound as well, because it's a nice little open sound. Okay, so that's shells, and that's great to use in the left hand while you're soloing. And hitting it together. Notice I just went to that B7 with those thirds and sevenths with the shells. Okay, every now and then I like to do a little punctuation to kind of, as a little full stop. So what I did there is I just did an octave and I just bounced off the sixth note with the C sharp. I can add that grace note to the C sharp as well. So again, probably not something I'd do every time, but it's just a nice little thing just to kind of create a little full stop in the music. Alright, so we have these little parallel chords obviously from before. What I'm going to do is take the top two notes, and with my pinky I'm going to play the root at the top with there, like a pedal note. So here we go. You can make your own variations. I'm just giving an example. Okay, let's try and put some of all this together. Let's have a good jam. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Keep jamming.